honouring all the myths and stories, all the failures, all the glories, stepping boldly forth into this eternal moment. Are you ready? Are you ready? Everybody and everything is one.
Yeah, it's really funny because of the internet connection. Every time I hear that piece of music, it's all crumbling, the rhythm's all falling apart. And having created that, it's very funny. It's like a universe collapsing on itself. Welcome, by the way. I carry two books of mine, to wherever I go. One is 108 Blessings, and the other is Handbook for the Urban Warrior. 108 Blessings I use as an oracle, and I kind of flick it to see what the day has in store. It's just a silly game that I play, one of my silly games I play. And today I got, you are blessed with loving whatever's happening. And that's the gist of what we're on about here, because that is the key. That is the key. I notice that I don't love what's happening when I'm succumbing to my prejudice-based preferences, themselves a protective device to prevent the new from hurting me, possibly. So I've got all these beliefs and ways of seeing things, like we all do, that built up over years and years, reference to the past. And when I succumb to all of that, when I believe that, it's being used as a device to protect me, to prevent the new from hurting me, the potential of pain. So the wise sage in me and you and all of us sits back within and delights in being alive. And then from that position welcomes all oncoming input, whether the shady or the bright of it, whether the yin or the yang of it, impartially and with equanimity, receives it as an expression of the Tao's infinite love for her or him. And the more the sage learns to let go and love every moment, regardless of its overt appearance, the more each moment loves the sage back. When we talk of love, however, I mean, what is love? I think it's important not to conflate it with desire, with need, with insecurity and the manipulation that comes with that, possessiveness, jealousy, with concern, with worry, or with any form of appropriation, as in making the object of your love yours. Nor must we conflate love with like, because we can like something without loving it, and we can love something without liking it. We can love and simultaneously feel desire, need, insecurity, and so on. But these latter are not love, they're something else. They may come with it and muddy up the love a little bit, or quite a lot in fact, but they're just add-ons. They are not actually constituents of love itself. I'll probably say this a few times, but love can be described as an openness in us as individuals to everyone and everything that comes into our orbit, whether in our thoughts or in face-to-face reality. Love is the energy that issues forth from an open heart. So it's heart energy. And the qualities of heart energy are such things as courage and kindness, as in caring, honor, as in upholding your agreements, and all those, the nobility of the human spirit. But these are not love, they're just ways of describing aspects of how love might look. Love itself is not definable any more than the Tao is definable. Love is an energy that radiates when your chest is relaxed and you're properly centered within, with the right intention, i.e. the intention to be loving and to receive love. To open up the channel, in other words. And there's probably something else as well, but it's mine right now. I was actually, I must say, I was bemused for a moment by how much attention the world was giving the eclipse, until I remembered that the majority of people rarely consider their cosmic orientation, and will only give themselves permission to ponder existence in big perspective when given permission to by the herd, i.e. the media. Being an academic, I'm constantly aware where we are on a planet with a satellite moon orbiting the nearest star. So every moment is spectacular for me, not just the ones that the media told me. I mean, I get that it's an unusual event for the little moon, relatively little moon, to obliterate the light of the sun, but it's only kind of physics, and it will happen every few years anyway, and so on and so forth. And it's not to denigrate that moment, and it's important to be aware of where we are, but for me it's important to be aware of where we are all the time. That's something to do with love, because the more aware you are, the more cognitive you are of your surroundings, of where you actually are at the deepest level, i.e. as part of a continuum, this huge mystery of existence. That is what creates the envelope in which your love travels or exists. So the consciousness of where and how, what, is an important factor in facilitating love. Love as an actual substance, if you like, an energetic substance. Now, why would we insist on missing out on such an endless run of spectacular moments in our lives, and instead busy ourselves, distract ourselves with the mundane to the extent that we do? I would say that there's not much reason except for an irrational fear of the new, of the unknown. Because once we open up to the infinity of existence, that encompasses destiny, and destiny is the unknown. So maybe better put the head down and just focus on the local view. Well, the purpose of this session is to instigate a pattern of loving each and every moment for the sheer thrill, and it's a discrete thrill, but it's a profound thrill of being alive. Because there is no greater transformative, shall we say, alchemical agent than this love. Once this love is flowing, it's this juice that makes everything transform for the better. So the eclipse also brought to mind the contrast of the dark and the light, and this being the day after the equinox, a sense of momentary equilibrium between the two, dark and the light. And now that in the northern hemisphere at any rate, the light is waxing, it's most apt to be doing what we're doing. Let me talk a little bit about the yin and the yang. So the yin represents the conservative element that makes us want to keep things all exactly as they are and keep operating from the same beliefs and models we always have done, and all of them based on the past. So I was talking about before, that defense. While the yang energy wants to change everything, it wants everything to change. Now, it's fear. The contractive force of the yin has within its folds fear. Nothing unhealthy about that, it's just an element. And fear is fear that wants to keep everything the same. Fear of the unknown. Well, on the other hand, love, this love of being and growing into more and more of it, wants everything new, or now. And the more fear, the less new, the less growth, the less you. The more love, the more new, the more growth, the more you. Fear is darkness, love is light. Bear with me being sensitive. Darkness, in fact, doesn't exist. Darkness is merely an absence of light. Only light exists. Darkness doesn't. Because in the beginning, when the Tao is nothing, it's just absolute darkness. There's nothing. Wu-Chi, absolute nothingness, darkness. And out of that darkness, a tiny microdot of light, so small that we can't comprehend it, mysteriously popped into being. It was so small, the smallest pinprick ever possible, and yet it contained within it this entire universe. And eventually, well, within this pinprick of light, there were subatomic particles fighting it out with antiparticles, apparently fairly evenly for a little bit, otherwise it wouldn't have stayed as a pinprick of light at all. But then, fortunately for us, the positive side won up. The fight, I guess, between those two created eventually an explosion, cutting a long story short, the radiation from which is still moving out and out and out and out, creating more and more and more space. In other words, space is inflating. So the darkness doesn't exist, it's non-existent. The only thing that exists is light. Now fear, which is darkness in this instance, doesn't exist either. Fear is just an absence of love. Now you can't remove darkness the same way as you can't remove fear, because neither of these exist. You can't remove something that isn't there. You can't do anything with it at all because it doesn't exist. But what you can do is play with the light, make the light brighter, do something with it, and then the darkness isn't there. In other words, you can play with the love, you can radiate it, you can increase its strength, you can make it stronger, do something with it, and then the fear isn't there. So you love where, how, what, and when you are, and the fear is gone. I mean, right now, whatever fear that you're feeling, whatever existential dread is going on, however unconsciously, love being here right now, exactly how you are doing, exactly what you're doing at exactly this moment, just love it, I love this, and the fear is gone. There's still the excitation that the fear brings, but the quality of negativity, of that contracted tendency, isn't in it. Love, real love, true love, is without conditions. It's the capacity and the willingness to be open to, without judgment, without conditions, from the heart of you, people, situations, life, and yourself, with all the mess and all the imperfection that's inherent in life on earth, to love without conditions, without expecting anything back for it. Even with the project of learn to love yourself, that's a good example. There's that sense that I learn to love myself, then my life works better for me. Everybody's told me that. So I start learning to love myself. And that is not unconditional, that's conditional, that I'm going to love myself because it's going to make things good. This love has to be without any expectation. True love has to just be an openness, without judgment, an embracing of, a holding the space for person, yourself, life, the situation, whatever it is. And yet, without conditions, paradoxically, the more you love, without conditions, the more lovable you become. I mean, that's obvious. When you love with conditions, when, say, it's a love affair, and you're only willing to share your love when the other meets your expectations, therefore your love becomes a weapon, really, something you can withhold. And so then you become unlovable. The more you do that, the more lovable you become. The more open you are, the more freedom you have, the other, the object you are, the more lovable you become to others, to life, to yourself, and the more lovable you are, the lovelier life becomes for you. It all works by reflection. And then we're going to go into this more next week, but every pain, it's inevitable we will have pain to varying degrees of varying sorts at various times. Every pain, every form of pain, every hold-up, every delay, every disappointment, is a signal, in fact, that rather than it be that like you, it's a signal that the new is pushing through. I found this through observation. When a new wave of life, of activity, of influence, of experience is pushing its way through, the first thing it seems to do is flush up pains and obstructions and irritants and so on for a period of time. And rather than shun these or try to shun them, to welcome and embrace them. Because the resistance you feel to pain, to disappointment, to obstruction is actually come from the yin within, wanting everything to remain the same, while the yang in you embraces the change. It trusts it. It takes responsibility for it and for the experience you're having as a result of it, rather than encourage you to be victim and blame. something external. It takes responsibility for it, for what you're feeling in respect of it. Like it's me who's generating this resistance-related sensation in my belly as much as I am, because it's precisely this that makes me feel most alive just now. And then, of course, the rational mind will go, well, then I must be mad or stupid to want to generate such a stress sensation in my belly just to make me feel alive. But there's nothing mad about it. There's no judgment to put on it. This is just what's happening right now. Whatever stress you feel in the solar plexus about being who you are and about your prospects, that level of stress is what you need right now to make you feel alive. And when you can acknowledge that, it's me generating this. I do it without self-judgment. This is what I do. You'll notice that it actually dissipates. Tension dissipates because you've taken command of it. You're a victim. So the yang in you, the outward expansive energy, is willing to love whatever is happening, because going with it facilitates destiny, the new. And that's what the yang throws. But it needs the yin in you to support the yang and provide the softness from inside that enables you to acquiesce, to trust destiny and flow. So the yang can't do it on its own. If the yang head and was left unbridled, it would dissipate, burn out. Conversely, if the yin had its head and was allowed to take itself to the extreme, it would congeal and die. The two need each other. The yin needs the yang to keep it safe and alive, and the yang needs the yin to support it, to nourish it, and to give it some shape and structure. Love destiny rather than fear it, because that's really what we're talking about, isn't it? We love being here right now. We look back and we love the story that's got us here. And what's going on, the game that's going on here, is a mystery. We sit in the now and destiny follows us. That's the game, the dance with destiny. And we tend to fear destiny. The yin in us fears the destiny, while the yang yearns for it. And what we're going to do today is going to trigger us being able to love destiny rather than fear it. And when we love destiny, destiny loves us right back. On the other hand, when we hate destiny, it loves us right back. And when you consider how big destiny is compared to you, that is not a sensible fight to get into. On the other hand, when you consider how big destiny is, you've got that loving you as the force. Just imagine how that transforms your moment-to-moment experience of being alive. Now, for many people, this is all fairly irrelevant on the surface of it, because it appears to me, I don't know, I'm not inside everyone's head, that most people will trap themselves with the meaning of it and will eschew this level of awareness most of the time. But for everybody, I suspect, comes a point when they're required to dance with destiny in a positive way. And so for anyone you know who wakes up at the moment, this is the key to pass on. Love it. Love destiny as your friend rather than fear it. So what we do is balance and strengthen the yin with the yang, and thereby strengthen the yang via the microcosmic orbit. This is this internal flow of energy in the spirit body, which is connected with the physical body. The energy moves up the rear of the spine, over the crown of the head, down the front of the spine. Energy moves down the front of the spine. That's your main part of yin energy in the body. When you can get energy circulating fluidly around the orbit, you balance the yin and yang at the most profound level. And during that, subsequent, we're going to drop back inside. This is the method, I call it, of dropping into the back, rather than being up in the front. If you've never heard me explain it, as succinct as I can be for the people who I haven't explained it before. Although it's one of the things that's always important to remember, be reminded of. This is key to everything, really. Because when I talk about loving, I'm talking about grounded love. I'm not talking about airy-fairy love, life, sparkles, hugs, and bright blessings love. I'm talking about proper, genuine, from the soul of you love. That doesn't need words, doesn't even need gestures. And this grounded love, which is what we're talking about, results from a combination of factors. I will get to those in a second. But one of them is this notion of being in the back of you rather than the front. The sense organs all face the front. Therefore, we perceive life as occurring in front of us. We forget it's going on behind, above, below, to the sides. It's going on in front of us. And because it's compelling, it draws us forwards inside our bodies to get a closer handle on it. It begins pre-kindergarten, roughly going to kindergarten age. And we forget to come back. We just stay there. Now, there are moments when we get drunk or meditate or make love or dance, and we let go of ourselves. Not every time, but sometimes let go of ourselves. And in that moment of letting go, we feel amazing, we feel full, we feel connected. That's when we've come into the back. Well, the method is a way of shortcutting that, just coming to the back to elicit what we'd otherwise call a peak experience. So when we're in the back, we aren't caught up in the noise of the world, which all goes on in the front of us and all goes on inside our bodies in action to the external. In the back, when it's going on, it's very still, very silent, and it's very strong relative to the front. So when we drop back inside, we're with the spirit, we're with the big self, the immortal self, and then we're leading from behind, as it were. And we're going to then open the heart center and the love that will ensue from behind it, which is not open the heart center and we're going to love from behind. No, actually, that sounds a bit rude. That wasn't intended to be a pun on a doggy style anal sex thing. But it would be, and then we're going to experience grounded love, as I described it, as opposed to the nonsensical pretending love. This is the same love that the Tao feels for bursting forth into life in sufficient magnitude for all of this and all of us to be here. That love of wanting to be, that love of something, making something, existence out of non-existence. Imagine the force of that. Imagine absolute nothingness for eternity. Somehow mustering the urge to burst forth into all of this. That's love. And we're going to stimulate and tonify the heart energy, which is the next prerequisite for the love to flow, because the heart chi, as I say, that's the essence of love. I see it, we can see it as a sort of bright rose gold light of the heart. I first saw this colour in Cardiff in Wales, actually. I don't know if they have it there anymore, but it was when I was a teenager. I drove all night once because I was restless with a friend of mine, listening to music in the car from London to Wales and back. And Cardiff, we drove in, there was lovely, beautiful rose gold street lights. You might have seen street lights like that. That's the rose gold I'm talking about. Very powerful. And it is, this love, the most creative agent there is. So for creating new, for generating fresh experience of being alive, fresh angle on being who you are, it's this love. This is the agent that triggers the creative change. Existence loves, and it loves so much that it exists out of nothing, just so it can love itself. And that's the current we're tapping into. I mean, it's not a narcissistic thing that existence has. It is just pure love, finding expression. We're going to open the heart center from behind and shine that rose gold light to end the illusion of darkness and fear. Because where the rose gold light goes, where the heart energy goes, where the love goes, there can be no room for darkness or fear. These don't exist. And then I suggest we're going to make a picture, each of us, of our lives, something that represents our lives, and a mental one, which we will see in front of us, because that's where we're programmed to see pictures of our lives. And then shine the rose gold light from the heart onto every aspect of the picture, especially the stuck bits. Bits where you have contretemps going on, people obsessing you, transgressing, or vice versa. Bits that are stuck, bits that don't seem to be working, bits in your relationship with yourself, where you question and doubt yourself. And we're going to shine that light onto both the yin and the yang of every aspect and say inside, I love this. Love, being open to it without barriers. This is a perceived phenomenon. Every phenomenon that we perceive is made up of both the yin and the yang, the dark and the light, the hard and the easy. And with that, we're going to transform everything by our intention for the better. Perfect time for it. It's coming off the equinox after that eclipse to kind of wipe the sky clean. So if you're ready, I would suggest, my lovely family, that this is the moment for us to divest ourselves of all vestiges of mundanity and retrieve ourselves at the deepest level. To wit, let your eyes lower and take a moment to get as comfortable as humanly possible in your seat. Imagine somebody has come around from the back and is lifting your head upwards, away from your hips, gently but firmly, as if to get the crown to get higher, closer to the ceiling. And in doing so, gives the back of your neck, as well as your throat, more length, more openness. So if you had an eye in the back of your head, it would be wide open now. If you had an eye in your throat, it would be wide open. It's a little like the movement of a tortoise poking its head out from its shell. And let your shoulder girdle hang down. It's the weight of your story that you carry on your shoulders. Let that drop now. And as your shoulders drop, let the weight of them drop all the way down, through your torso, through your belly, through your pelvic floor, through your legs, through your feet, into the ground. That's where the weight of your body wants to go anyway. It just wants to surrender to gravity. Allow it to do so, trusting that you won't slump because your head's being pulled upwards by the crown. As you let your weight sink to the ground, do so as a gesture of paying homage to our nuclear-powered spaceship, Earth, which, as you know, has a crust that's only 3 miles thick in some places, 44 miles at its thickest, beneath which is an inferno of power. And that this spaceship of ours, it works by spinning on its axis like a gyroscope at 1,000 miles an hour, while moving around. Well, that makes it move around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour, requiring 365 days and 4 hours and something or other to make one complete orbit. So when we surrender to this Earth Mother, it's a dynamic entity that we're surrendering to. Raise your breastbone without arching your back even a bit. Raise it about a hair's distance, in a subtle gesture of rising up to all that is beautiful. Combine that with paying homage to the ground. Get a balance there somehow. Let all the muscles and sinews of the body go soft. There's no need to be guarding yourself by tensing the muscles at this moment. You're free to do so at the end if you want. But for now, presumably you're not under any physical threat. You're in good company here. Human family of angels all the way around the world, sitting together with one intent to radiate love. And allow the face to soften. Let all the expression go. Allow the neck, the throat, the shoulders, the arms, the belly, the sides, chest, the hips, the legs, the feet, and then all the organs. Let the tissue that comprises the organs soften, and the blood vessels, the actual tissue of the blood vessels, soften. And let this softness permeate all the way to your bone marrow, even to your bones, so everything feels soft, which is not weak. True strength comes from this softness. It's only with this softness that the chi can flow. Softness is life, rigidity, death. So this is a beautiful, warm, juicy softness. And to augment the flow of chi, breathe slowly and evenly, silently and smoothly. Similarly to reeling silk from a cocoon. Have you ever done that? And luxuriate as the belly rises on the in-breath and falls on the out-breath, in the sense of fresh life passing in and stale life being released to make way for another moment of life and potential. Now, become aware of where you sit in your body. The habitual stance is to be in the front, knowing that it is your birthright to occupy all of yourself. Take advantage of that now. Just sit back. If you were a t-shirt, you'd have side seams. So what we're saying is to come back behind the side seams. So you're leaning back into your own shoulder blades. leaning back into your own rear pelvic bones and sacrum, leaning back into the frontal aspects of your spine, like leaning back into the back of your throne, you're the queen or the king of the realm. And really taking advantage, just like the queen or the king would, of the back of your throne. So really lean back inside and to let the weight sink so you sit firmly in the seat of the throne, which is equivalent to the sit bones and buttocks and pelvic floor. Breathe in as if breathing in through all the pores of the skin at once in the front of the body and face, as if you're breathing in a wall of air into your back. Let it fill your back and be in the back with that. Breathe out from the back, through the front, through all the pores of the skin and the face, as if breathing out a wall of air through your front, and let the forward motion of the air thrust you back further inside the throne, like being thrust back in your seat when you take off in a plane. Notice that you feel still and strong, and in this space, nothing is lacking. Nothing is lacking. You have everything you need right now. Visualize your skull as a cave and your mind as a wee Buddha with your face on it, sitting up there in the front of the brain where it always sits, busily sharing, mediating the noise of the debate that's going on in the forebrain. And just tell it it's okay, Buddha, you can come out of there now and go to the back of the cave and rest. You deserve it, you've worked for it, you've earned it. Gosh, the Buddha stands up and shakes himself or herself down and walks slowly, personally, to the back of the cave, which is where the back of your skull is, where the beautiful pile of cushions that's being left there for the Buddha is arranged so nicely, with beautiful colours, and satin, silk and velvet, turquoise and emerald and orange and purple and fuchsia and all the colours, beautiful canary yellow, all the colours of the rainbow. Lovely designs, well-stuffed, well-made cushions. And you, the little Buddha, sits back on the pile of cushions with your back leaning into the rear wall of the cave, back of the skull, and gaze into infinity through the mouth of the cave, which is co-spatial with the top of your nose where it meets the base of your forehead. No reason for this, just because it's a good place to rest your gaze. A line of light that goes off into infinity, and supported by the physical warmth, presence, strength, silence, delight in the back. Everything's perfectly still, silent, strong, and beautiful. We'll do in a moment. Down below, in the chest area of the body, the breast bump in the front there, visualize it like a pair of sliding doors that are now opening, each to their side, revealing slowly but surely the most amazing view of what can only be described clumsily as a cluster of heavenly jewels, reminiscent of garnets and rubies and topaz and rose quartz, amethyst, and all the colours that are reminiscent of compassion, flame, caring, warmth, love, courage, beauty, beauty, beauty. And there's a sense of a lovely fragrance radiating off this cluster, and light, this rose gold light, radiating freely now because the doors are open. And this is going on in the front of you. You are sitting behind it, watching this effluence of rose gold light streaming forth from the open heart, all around you and to everyone in this circle and everywhere without limit. And you're breathing in and you're breathing out and you're breathing in and breathing out from the back through that opening. So you're sitting behind the open heart center now. Your weight is sunk, so you're grounded, fully grounded in and sitting back in the throne. And for no purpose, for no result whatsoever, merely because nothing is beautiful, you are breathing in and out as if through the opening in the center of the chest. With every in-breath coming through the heart, the rose gold light seems to wash into the back of you and illuminate you in the back, warm you. With every out-breath going out through the heart, the rose gold light going out and radiating ubiquitously without limit, the force of that moving forwards thrusts you back even more into the rose gold splendor. Now, from here, I want you to visualize on the earthly plane far below at the foot of the mountains, your life spread out. You can make the scene as dramatic and spectacular as you like. It can be a massive cowboy and Indian scene in the high mountain desert, or it could be like the view from a villa in a Caribbean island, or it could be the view from a mountaintop over the green, beautiful springtime pastures, or it could be a view from a penthouse high above one of the world's big cities. You'll know what to do with the view. And in the middle of the view, if you're not mistaken, you can see you, your local self, far down below there, in the middle of the view, in command of it all, with many apparent choices to make and many tasks to fulfill, and certain avenues in front of your local self appear obstructed, other avenues appear very open and inviting. And the scene is populated by many people, some of whom are supporting you, some of whom are detracting from you. All of them are merely expressions of the yin and the yang, of the one being. And you are breathing this rose gold light through the open heart center, observing it from the back, and the rose gold light is progressively flooding the scene of your life that you see before you down below at the foot of the mountains from where we're sitting. And the rose gold light is moving everywhere, down all the gullies and avenues and the dells and up over the mounds, and encircling and surrounding and enveloping every aspect of that scenario, smoothing away all the obstructions, amplifying all the glory, making the way easy and beautiful. Not without its dynamics. Of course, it has its challenges, inclines to walk up and walls to walk round. But this light shows the way, and there is a way around and over and through everything. Because love must meet itself. And as you observe this occurring, this healing of conditions, be aware that you're observing it from the back of you, through this open heart, in the media of this rose gold light, knowing that what is going on here is you fulfilling your destiny, you fulfilling your potential in this lifetime. And everything that has got you to this point was there for exactly the right reason, to get you to this point. All the sensations of not reaching your potential hitherto were really actually just you reaching your potential without even knowing it. This is the flowering that's going on, and it's exponential. And right now a quantum leap is about to occur. So looking back through the back of your head at everything that has been before, the incredible, unfathomably complex story that got you here, all the bits that you didn't see at the sides, all the things that were going on that you had no idea of, that whole story got you to where you are right now. And from the back of you, let that rose gold light stream backwards and be a gesture of thank you for that story. A moment of giving thanks for the story that got you here. And in a dimension beyond that even, to all the ancestors of yours that made it possible for you to be here. And give thanks to them. And with that, let your love flow to them, to every aspect of your own story, to all the people that were in it, to all the things that happened, knowing that all of these are expressions of the one present. And let your love flow into the bigger dimension to all your ancestors who in that dimension are still living. Love them, and this heals them. And even then, will heal you forwards through linear time. But that's not why you're doing it. This is purely for the joy of loving. Loving everyone who's gone before and everything that has gone before to get you to this point, and feel a sense of protectiveness, a guardian entity all around you that results from this love. You're here for a reason. It's no accident. And it is meant to be. The variables are imponderable, and yet they coalesce. Just so, for you to be here. Give thanks to this protective force around you. Love it. Feel it love you back. And become aware of unfolding all around you and before you is your destiny. That scenario of your life that you're seeing is the ground of your destiny. And all manner of amazing events are going to occur. Rather than see destiny as your foe, to be outwitted, make a choice, because it is up for grabs. There are no laws about destiny and how you see it. Make a choice for destiny to be your beloved now. Rather than fear it, love it. When you love it, there is no room for fear. When you shine this light of rose gold love onto destiny, there can be no fear. All the darkness is gone. Destiny is bright and beautiful. It's your beloved. Have a sense of destiny like a big, beautiful angel embracing you now, holding you in its arms. Feel yourself loved by destiny. That's what we're talking about, isn't it? Destiny loving us, and then everything is beautiful. Feel yourself now loved by destiny. And there's a bonding now between destiny and the guardian energy, that which has come before. As you sit in this hallowed state, with the rose gold light flooding the view, say in your mind, I love this, I love this. To the bit where there's the fear of illness and death, I love this. To the bit where there's the fear of destitution or ignominy, I love this. To the bit where there is glory, I love this. To the bit where there is separation, loss, I love this. To the bit where there is union and bonding, I love this. To the bit where it's warm, I love this. To the bit where it's cold, I love this. To all of it and everyone in it, which ultimately means everyone on earth, I love this. To you, the local being, with all your foibles and peccadillos, I love this. To the week ahead, I love this, the yin and the yang of it. To the rest of this evening, I love this. To your body, I love this. Love, being open to it without barriers. And see everything, command everything, invite everything to transform right now with that intention. I invite you to transform now. I accept it. Next week, we're going to focus more on this, loving life and love life. Loving it no matter what's going on. This is a skill of all skills. And this will be the time now to start wriggling your toes, wriggling your fingers, wriggling your ears, and wriggling your nose, and fluttering your eyelids, and come gently but firmly back into the room, back into the room, back into the room.
Coming home, that's what you want. Coming home is what you wanted all the while. Back to this place where you've always been free, back to this place where you can't fail to see. Everybody and everything is one. Everybody and everything is one. Not that I'm being judgmental or regimental, maybe mildly sentimental, but I'm sure you've noticed existence is a mystery.